The loans would commit the U.S. government to repaying Southern's loans if the company defaults. The guarantees cover some 70% of the estimated $8.8 billion cost of building the 2 new reactors at the company's Vogtle plant, which is east of Atlanta.
So, we will, for a moment here, speak of some of the people who have responded to this article. It's been kind of mixed opinions. I mean, I don't know if it's that the public isn't aware of the problems associated with nuclear waste, or if it's just that they're ignorant to the idea, or they just believe that because it has no CO2 emissions that it is a safe, efficient way to power America and I guess the rest of the world. But associated with nuclear power, there's so many risks, and the waste alone, and I mean what it can be turned into potentially, it's dangerous. So some blogs here, one person wrote, I'd rather have a nuclear power plant next door than keep subsidizing the Gulf states with petrodollars. Lesser of two evils for me. And if space is needed to bury the radioactive waste, I am told Alaska is a big state, with a smiley face. Yeah, so that person's opinion I kind of put on here because I really wanted to stress that some of these people who reply to these articles, or at least, I mean, they must read them so that they do have their opinion on it. They're very ignorant to the idea of the waste from these power plants. Another article, uneasy is a good word to put my feelings about offshore drilling and nuclear waste. But the important comment Obama makes is that these decisions about energy and climate can't be stalled, and he needs Republican support. If this moves the energy bill, it's a good political compromise. In response to Jamie, I believe the technical waste problem is largely solved in the experts' opinions. It's just having the public accept it that has been unsuccessful. Ability may change in the next 15 to 20 years when climate change costs become more tangible. So, what I get from this person here is basically, you know, they don't believe. I mean, they believe that just trading, you know, one thing for what you need some Republican support. So you give up one issue here, and you trade for another issue that maybe you can pick up from the Republicans. It's like, why should these issues that affect us have to all be debated upon between two parties? And it just makes it everything also political when things can be so simple. And this person, I mean, it obviously shows that they think that hopefully in the next 15, 20 years, we'll have ways to eliminate this waste and things if we choose to keep using nuclear power. But they just seem that they're more in support of letting Congress give and take for each other and kind of disregard the real issues at hand. This was actually one blog that I found that seemed probably it was the best one written there, and it was in support of not having nuclear power. The person's name was Jamie. I guess it depends on where you live, but with half-life of a few thousand years, I don't think it matters where on how you bury it. 1,000 years is a long life for borders to change, political upheaval, you name it. And I wouldn't count on anyone being able to guarantee the waste will stay where it's put. I'm from Chicago, and Illinois has the greatest number of nuclear plants of any state, some very close to our primary water source, Lake Michigan. Moving the waste anywhere would be dangerous. Leaving it there is dangerous. Seems like the only answer is wishing it weren't there at all, and making more of it is not going to help. We haven't been able to find a solution to the waste problem in 50 years. We thought we would, but haven't. Reprocessing plants are not doing the trick, and risks are manifold. On top of this, to make nuclear the new standard and then deny it to developing nations, akin to a global embargo, is completely unsustainable and a recipe for war. Either dedicate yourself to the prospect of every country going nuclear with both energy and weapons capabilities, or find another solution. I don't want to fear-monger, but this is dangerous stuff and best not to put on the shoulders of future generations. The oil will run out and we will either live on less or find an alternative. So, I mean, this person lives around an area where, I mean, there are a lot of nuclear power plants, and they are well aware of the dangers of nuclear power, and, you know, they don't even want it around themselves. So these are the type of people who should be the ones being heard when it comes to making decisions on behalf of whether we should install more nuclear power plants in wherever locations, because, I mean, it's the people, the politicians behind it and in favor for it are the ones who don't have to live near these locations, and they can care less whether it spills, leaks, cracks, whatever, because they have the money, they have the power to leave the area and leave the people who live there to stay there. It's a tragic circle. But we have another article that's going to be read. It's actually written by Alec Baldwin. It's called The Human Cost of Nuclear Power.
In two previous posts, I wrote about the path I had gotten on, back in 1995, to shut down a research reactor at the Brookhaven National Laboratory on Long Island. The reactor, called a high-flux beam reactor, or HFBR, had its operations suspended and was eventually shut down in 1999 after an investigation established that tritium had leaked from spent fuel pools and had contaminated groundwater within and beyond the Brookhaven lab site. I met many people while working on the BNL issue, as well as other battles involving nuclear power. One of them was Randy Snell, a Long Island resident who raised his family near Brookhaven. Snell's daughter developed a rare form of cancer.